Hey everyone, me again. Today I wanted to show you some of the crap I've been picking up recently. First things first, yes, I have dyed my hair. Somehow it is both brighter and darker than I was kind of expecting, but it is a temporary dye, so I think it's going to fade a little bit after a while, but I still do really like this. I'll leave the link to the dye I used in the description box below if you're interested. Anyway, I'm just going to dive straight into what I've been picking up from the drugstore recently. Most of this is from Superdrug, but there is, I think, one thing from Boots. So I mostly picked up makeup, which is no surprise, but I did throw in a few little bits of skincare in the haul as well. So I picked up this micellar water from Garnier. This is one of their oil infused ones, and this is the blue one, which is for delicate skin and eyes. I have quite sensitive skin, so this is the one that I've been buying recently. This is really good for taking off your makeup when you're too lazy to wash your face. We all have those days, but yeah, this is really efficient. It does the job very, very quickly. And I think I picked this up for $3.99, but I think the RRP is about maybe £5 or £6. But this is one of those products that's always on offer somewhere, so definitely shop around. I also picked up some more eye cream. I just get the basic one from Simple. I think this was on offer for $1.99 at the time I picked it up. It's probably the most basic, bog standard eye cream that you could ever come across. And I keep thinking that maybe now that I'm in my late 20s, I should maybe upgrade to something a little bit more intense. But every time I try another eye cream, my eyes just really don't like it. Even if I try not to put it too close to the actual eye area, I just find that my eyes get watery and really irritated. So for now I'm sticking with this one. And then the last bit of skincare I got is another thing that's kind of themed around sensitive skin actually. So this is the Aqueous Calamine Cream. So I have skin redness, as you'll know if you've seen any of my tutorials, if you've seen my foundation reviews, basically any video where I start off without any makeup on. You'll have probably picked up on that. I mention it a lot as well. And I was just reading on the internet and I found someone, possibly the NHS website, mentioning calamine lotion and that being quite good for skin redness. So I had a little look around and I stumbled across this, which is just a cream that's got some calamine and it's also got some aqueous in it. And this was quite cheap. I can't remember exactly how much it was, but it was about £2 or £3, I think. And I've just been putting a really small amount of this on after my facial oil and just dabbing it over my skin redness and then putting on my SPF. And so far it's been really nice. It hasn't made a huge drastic change to how my skin looks. My skin still looks quite red at the moment, but it doesn't feel quite as sensitive, especially when I put makeup on. I really noticed that my skin doesn't feel as like irritated as it used to. So this has been really nice. I've got one tube of this here and one tube at my boyfriend's. I really like using this on my hands as well. My hands get really dry over winter. This sinks in really, really quickly, so you're not going to feel like your face is massively moisturized. Like if your skin is really, really dry, you might want to go over the top of it with another more intense moisturizer after this one, but for treating skin conditions it's really nice. Okay, we're on to the exciting part now. We're on to the makeup. And this is the one thing that I got from Boots. Everything else I got from Superdrug, but I think you can actually get this from Superdrug now. It's the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. So I've been using this for a while and I've been using the shade Taupe. It's been featured in a lot of my tutorials recently, but obviously when I dyed my hair, all of my brow products started to suddenly look very, very ashy. Even though I am naturally a redhead, now that I'm more red, a lot of my brow products just look a little bit ashy on me now. So yeah, I picked up the shade Auburn to kind of wear with the Taupe brow pencil. So I use a mix of both of them usually when I'm doing my eyebrows. I don't really like overly warm brows, but I find that using just a bit of this in combination with the Taupe brow pencil gets roughly the shade that I'm after. I'm using a combination of the two on my eyebrows today. And yeah, this is really nice. I also really like using it with like my brow pomades. This product is £9 and it's really nice. I bought the Taupe one a few months ago, I think. I've still got plenty of product left. Honestly, they last for ages. So they are more expensive than other brow pencils that I've had in the past, but they last so long that it's worth the money. And I really like the tip of the product as well. So it's super, super, super skinny, which just means you can draw on really, really thin and precise brow hairs, which I love. This was on offer for £3. I think it's usually £6. This Revolution baking oil. This is one that I featured in last week's video. And this is basically an oil that is a skin primer for when you do your makeup. And I wanted to try this out because over winter I've just been finding it really, really difficult to put my makeup on. My skin has been a lot drier, it's been a lot more textured, and a lot of the primers I have at the moment just are not cutting it. So I thought I'd give this a try. I'm actually wearing it today, which is why I might look a little bit more dewy than I normally do, even though I did set my face with powder. This is really, really nice if you like dewy, glossy looking skin. I think it looks so beautiful, especially over the colder months. I find that it's really been helping me with my dry patches and the drier areas of my face, and it's really been helping me, especially in those problem areas. I've noticed a big difference. I've really been enjoying this. I might do a dedicated review about this at some point. That might be in video form, but I'm also really considering getting back into blogging again. Just recently I've really been thinking about just ways that I can get more content out there, and as much as I love YouTube, it's incredibly time consuming, and I do not have the time to make more than one video a week at the moment. So I'm thinking blogging might be a good way to kind of bridge the gap between videos. Either that or maybe mini reviews on Instagram, I'm not really sure, but yeah, that's just something I'm thinking over at the moment. Let me know what blogs you really like in the comment section below. I was definitely thinking a lot about my problematic under eyes while I've been shopping recently. I also picked up the Revolution Pro under eye primer as well. This is their Hydrate one. I can't remember exactly how much this was actually, if I'm honest, but it will be linked in the description box below. I don't think it was more than about £5. But yeah, as the name suggests, this is just a primer that you put on your under eye area. I was really hoping that this would help kind of somehow blur the fine lines that I have under my eyes, but I'm 28, you know, nothing's really going to do that anymore. I haven't really used this very much so far. The times that I have noticed it, it hasn't impressed me a massive amount, if I'm honest. But at the moment, I would say if you do really want something to help your under eye area, if you find that your makeup is creasing, I would start with the Revolution Baking Oil first and maybe set your eyes with a loose powder instead of a pressed one. I've been doing that a bit more recently, and so far that has been helping a lot more, whereas this under eye primer just hasn't really been quite as impressive. But again, I will try it out a few more times and see what I think. I might find that I like this product a little bit more when it's not quite so cold and my skin isn't so extremely dry, so maybe in the spring I'll give this another go and I'll really like it. Another piece of makeup I got, again thinking about my under eye area, is this concealer from Collection. This is their Illuminating Touch Concealer in the shade Naked 1. I picked this up for £3.99. I think it's usually about £4.20, so it's obviously not like the saving of the year or anything. But yeah, I remember really liking this concealer when I was at university, which was when I first got into makeup, so I thought I'd try it out again because I remember the colour being really good for your under eyes. It's kind of like a salmon pink colour and it's got quite an illuminating formula. So yeah, I thought I'd pick this up again, just put this underneath my foundation when I'm doing my makeup and see what I think. And so far I have really been enjoying this. It's really nice as a kind of colour corrector, so it's not going to brighten that area massively, not if you're my skin tone anyway, and it does a really nice job at just helping to calm down the blue tones that I have under there. Will it completely hide dark circles? No, probably nothing does at the moment because, if I'm honest, I just don't get enough sleep. I didn't realise how many eye products I got actually until I sat down to film this whole video. The next thing I grabbed was recommended by my friend Natasha. She has a channel as well. I kind of plug her a lot, but you really should go and watch her videos. So this is the L'Oreal Infallible Stick Foundation. She knows that I love stick foundations and she was recommending this one and the Hourglass one. Obviously, I'm probably not going to get the Hourglass one because my thing is kind of for drugstore makeup, but I thought I could give the L'Oreal one a try. So this is their shade 80 Porcelain. I've had a few L'Oreal foundations in the past that have been a bit too dark for me, but I'm happy to report that this one matches me quite well. It's maybe not got as much coverage as I would like, but it sinks into the skin so beautifully. It looks so natural. I would call this a light but buildable coverage. So if you want a bit more coverage in a foundation stick, I would maybe go to Revolution, but because their foundation stick is a bit more pigmented, it does kind of drag a bit on the skin, whereas this doesn't. It just glides, honestly. It just looks so natural and so beautiful. So I'm not wearing this on its own at the moment just because my skin is more red than usual over winter and I do need that bit more coverage, but I have been enjoying mixing this with other products, just kind of dotting it on my face with other stick foundations. I think this is about £8 or £9, but it was on offer when I bought it, so I think I only paid about £5 for this. So in a few of my tutorials you'll have probably seen me use the e.l.f. Creamy eyeliner in the brown shade, so I thought I'd pick up the black shade as well. I thought it would be fun to have a black gel liner just for when I'm filming tutorials, and I think that a black eyeliner would complement the look that I'm doing a bit more. I definitely wear brown more on a day-to-day basis, but yeah, sometimes when I'm filming tutorials I do want to just make some subtle changes every now and again, otherwise it's just kind of repetitive, and I think this was around £4. I think I've already featured this in a tutorial, but this is the Revolution Pro Eye Elements in Core. So I'm a big fan of the Maybelline Colour Tattoo. I've actually got a few of them in my collection, and I used to have a lot more, but I really like the shade Creme de Nude, which is a very similar colour to this. It's just a light yellow, and it's really good at cancelling out the redness on your eyelids and just covering up the veins and stuff. But the one that I had was starting to dry out, and I was actually in the middle of placing a Superdrug order that had the Creme de Nude eye primer in my basket, and I was watching a Soph Does Nails video at the same time, and she just happened to talk about this product. She was just saying how much she liked this and how good the coverage was. I thought, what the hell, I'll just try this one and see how the two compare, and I really do like this one as well. It gives a very similar result. It's a lot more creamy than the Maybelline Colour Tattoo, but I don't know if that's just because this product is newer, whereas my Maybelline one has obviously been sitting in my drawer for quite some time. But yeah, this was about £4. It still creases a little bit, but to be honest, everything does on me. I have very hooded eyes. But yeah, it definitely creases a lot less than if I were to use a concealer on my eyelids or something like that. The next thing was kind of a spontaneous purchase, but somehow I ended up picking up the I Heart Revolution lip gloss in Salted Caramel. It's a little bit lighter than I thought it would be. I don't know why, but I thought this would be a slightly darker colour. I think it looks a little bit darker on the website, and a few people were describing it as a My Lips but better shade in the reviews, but it's still a nice colour. I'll just wear this with like a lip liner or something underneath to make it work for me. It's not too sticky compared to other lip glosses, and the smell, it really does smell like Salted Caramel. It smells so sweet. It actually makes me really hungry when I use this just because of how sweet it smells. I have a really sweet tooth, by the way. I love chocolate, oh my god, and I'm on Weight Watchers at the moment, and oh, I miss cake. But back to the lip gloss. This makes me really hungry. Maybe don't pick this up if you're on Weight Watchers because it might drive you crazy. So I wasn't planning on picking up any eyeshadow palettes, right? I kind of thought, Alice, you have enough, you really don't need any more. But then Revolution launched some new palettes, and they were neutrals and they were cool tones, and you know what I'm like about neutral cool tone palettes. It's kind of my weakness. And they were only £4 each, so even though there were 3 of them that I had my eye on, I ended up only getting 2, which I think is showing real progress for me. So these are the new Reloaded palettes that they've launched fairly recently. I got the one in Iconic 3.0, and I also picked up the Fundamental palette. I did have my eye on the other one as well. I think it's called Provocative, maybe? Provocateur, something like that. I really liked it when I looked at it on the Revolution website, but then I saw it in a few videos and it looked so different in the videos. It just looked like a much darker palette. So yeah, I picked up these two, and again, these do look a little bit different in real life to how they looked on the website. Maybe not Fundamental so much, but Iconic 3.0 definitely does. So on the website, this just looked a little smidge warmer, and obviously you can see in real life it is incredibly cool toned. The matte shades in here are actually very grey. The matte shades are, by the way, completely useless. Like, this one barely shows up on me, and I've got practically white skin, so if it doesn't show up on me, I don't really know who that's going to work for. It really reminds me of their Iconic 3 palette, which I already have in my collection. You could probably say from the name that maybe it is supposed to be similar, you know, Reloaded Iconic 3.0. Iconic 3. Maybe this is supposed to be an updated version of that, but I didn't realise they would be quite so similar. Maybe if I did, then I wouldn't have picked this up because I already have their previous palettes, and a lot of the shades in here are actually in another palette. So I'm thinking if I do give this its own dedicated review, I might compare the two side by side. Again, I'm thinking of doing that in a blog post just so I can do photographs of like the swatches. I personally do really like it, but I don't plan on using the mattes in this palette. They're just a bit rubbish, but I do really like the shimmer shades in here. They're absolutely beautiful. And the shimmer shades in the Fundamental palette are also really nice as well. The matte shades in here here do perform a little bit better, but I don't really use bright orange in my crease, and the two browns might be a little bit dark for me, so again I'm probably going to mix this one with other palettes as well. But I do really like the shimmer shades. They look so pretty. This one in particular is so nice. When you swatch it, it looks like absolute garbage. It looks really chunky and clumpy and just like, ugh, why would Revolution put that in their palette? But if you dab it on your eye with your finger, it makes a really beautiful glitter top coat. I think overall the colour theme kind of confuses me just a smidge. Like, I'm not quite sure if they were going for a warm tone or a cool tone palette, because it feels like they've got bits of both in here, which is fine. It's just that if you're going to put like cool tone shimmers in here, then you should put a cool tone transition in there as well, just to make it all a bit more wearable, in my opinion. So like, they've got a silver shade right underneath an orange matte shade, and yeah, maybe someone more talented than me and better at makeup could probably make that work, but I can't make it work. Me personally, I'm probably going to be mixing it with other things that I already own to get the most out of the shades. And that's it. That's everything that I've been picking up from the drugstore recently. I'll have the links to everything that I've mentioned in the description box below. Let me know in the comments what you think about blogging. I feel like that would be a really good way to just show you more products and show you more swatches and just give you more information about things that I'm trying out. So let me know what you think in the comments and we'll chat more about it down there. Please validate my existence by subscribing to my YouTube channel, and I will see you guys next Sunday at 9 AM. Bye!